one of the challenges we're facing in this time and age is a lot of people don't truly know what is it they're looking for. A lot of people know what everybody else defines as happiness for them, but they have not defined for themselves what happiness amounts to. What is it that gives you satisfaction? What is it that gives you meaning in your life? And this framework really helps to streamline those things so that whenever you try to make a decision, you try to aspire to something, you put it against that framework, it's going to give you a reality check. Is this going to leave me feeling positive? So the first thing in that framework, which is P for, it stands for I want you to keep this in mind because this is a very important framework that will really just help you to guide you when you're making decisions, especially about money, building wealth, and being able to assign exactly how much to invest and why you're investing. The reason why is because the key questions you have to ask yourself is not only the why, but how you get to arriving at the number or the amount of money you chose to invest. And generally, most people don't really know what that why constitutes. Not because it is complex, but because we don't really take the time to sit down, analyze it, and really arrive at the components of that why. So there's a framework called the PERMA framework, which I want to talk to you about. And it was developed by a guy called Martin Seligman. So Martin Seligman says what? He explains what really creates a fulfilling life. Because money in itself is just a conduit. It's something that helps us to achieve. It's not the end. It's something that helps us to achieve a goal, which most of us, whether we like it or not, generally have it as a fulfilling and meaningful life. Now, that can be different for different people, right? But what Martin Seligman tried to do with the PERMA framework is to give a framework by which we can always use it. We can use that framework to help determine to us some of the financial and money decisions we make. So the first thing in that framework, which is P for PERMA, it stands for positive emotion. It's what I'm going to do, the money I want to have, the money I want to invest to grow it to $1 million. Is that going to help to give me positive emotions, right? The feeling of joy, the feeling of gratitude, hope, peace, those kind of emotions. Is it going to help me with that? Right? So it's not just money, but it's about how we feel about that. Because if it was only about money, we would not have heard of some of the calamities that have befell some people that you and me know they are rich. The artist they formerly called Prince, he died alone in his house in Chanhassen. This guy is worth $700 million. I forget this guy who used to be on the Food Channel. He used to have a Food Channel show on CNN. This guy was worth like 100 and something million. He committed suicide, right? So if money in itself is happiness, then things like this will never happen to rich people, right? The reason why is because now you have to assign that positive emotion to it and that feel good. Do you feel satisfied with your life? Does it make you feel good about your life? So that is the first thing, the P in the PERMA framework. Hey, if you make good money but you're tired of living on autopilot, watching your income disappear every month with nothing substantial to show for, this is where you finally learn how to turn income into assets, assets into growth, and growth into long-term wealth. You see, most people never get there because they lack clarity and strategy. They earn, they spend, and they hope for growth. But hope alone is not a wealth-building strategy. Because if you're tired of wondering where your money went each month, or frustrated that your investments are not working as hard for you as you would like them to work, then this is for you. The Wealth, Clarity, and Legacy Blueprint webinar should be your number one priority. You know why? Because you're going to get a clear picture of your finances. You're going to learn how to structure your money in such a way that growth and protection becomes a natural outcome of that investment. You are going to see how to start investing with very low capital and walk away with a 90-day wealth plan you can actually execute right now. Not tomorrow, not next week. I will also get you some worksheets and you have access to the replay of their training. So you are not rushed and can implement properly because this takes a little bit of time. By the end of this 90-minute live session, you are going to walk away with clarity, control, and a practical roadmap to make your money work for you so you can stop guessing and start growing your wealth. If this makes sense to you, click the link in this video description. Save your seat because there are very limited seats at the Wealth, Clarity, and Legacy Blueprint webinar and start becoming the financially confident, in control, and growing version of yourself you've always aspired to be. Your clarity begins today. And you know what? Your legacy starts right now. So I will see you on the inside. The second thing, E, engagement. Being deeply involved in what you do. And that is called the flow state, right? So whatever it is you're doing, if you're saying here, you know what, I want my portfolio to get to $1 million, that is good. The process of taking it to that means you need to invest a little bit more, right? Now, the process of making that sacrifice to invest a little bit more, is it something engaging to you? Are you doing work that is meaningful, that leaves you with contentment, that leaves you with a sense of deep commitment to what it is, right? Because work that challenges you and fulfills you, it makes it a lot easier to make the outcome of it, which is the size of your portfolio, a lot more valuable, because it will leave you too with that sentiment. The third thing about the PEMA framework is the R, relationships. How is building $1 million portfolio going to help your relationships? How is it going to deepen the relationships that make sense and are valuable to you? Your children, your uncles, your aunties, yourself, your mother, your parents, your colleagues. Those relationships that you will define that are important to you. How is achieving that goal going to help with those relationships? Number one. Number two, how is achieving that goal going to take away from those relationships? So what I mean by that, take a scenario where a lot of times people spend so much time chasing some career goals, some money goals, some financial goals, and then in that process, they sacrifice a lot of time from their loved ones. They don't get to see nobody, and then they end up achieving the goal, but still feeling empty. What happened in that situation is that they traded those relationships for that outcome. So the question now that you could always ask yourself, what if, let's say, the outcome was to make $1 million, right? And this person needed to go out and work and do all that stuff. What if that person had defined that $1 million is not really what they needed to have the kind of life they wanted? Let's say 500,000 is what they needed. So that means they could have spent a lot less time chasing and spending time with the relationships that are deep to them, that are meaningful to them, right? So that is the third element of the framework. R, relationships. How does this strong connections with others, your families, your friends, your community, right? Because wealth without relationships really leads to emptiness. We know that. The fourth element of this framework, meaning. We got to live for something bigger than ourselves. I just gave you a few examples, and there are many more examples. I've had friends in conferences, I've gone to some mentors who are extremely rich people, and each time I ask them, they tell me, Gustav, it's just overhyped. When you get there, you just realize that I have this mentor of mine, is worth about $10 million, $100 million. But he told me that when he was worth about $20 million, he doesn't feel any different. So he asked himself, was it worth me sacrificing all these things? I've been through 3 divorces. Some of my kids don't talk to me because I was always under business stress trying to do this. Was it really worth it? Because I don't see the difference between my lifestyle of when I had 20 million and when I made 80 extra million. You understand what I mean? But now he told me that what really gives him a sense of satisfaction is the fact that he is living for something bigger than him. So he is contributing into charities, he's actually assisting communities and doing things that he believes is bigger than just him and his personal satisfaction. So that's the fourth element of the framework, the M, which stands for meaning, right? What is the meaning of what you're doing? What you're trying to achieve? Is it going to give you meaning? Is it going to serve to achieve something bigger? Is it purpose driven? Right? People don't spend a lot of time figuring out what their purpose is. That is very important in life. Living through life without really understanding your purpose sometimes leads to a lot of emptiness. So you should ask yourself, my goal is to build my portfolio to $1 million. That is fine and good. How does that align with your purpose? Are you going to be needing to trade your purpose to do that? Is it worth trading it to do that? Right? So those are some of the questions, because this is where purpose leads to wealth, and now, as we know, wealth leads to legacy. Now the fifth one, the A, which is accomplishment, achieving goals, whether small or big in life. There is nobody who can have a meaningful life without having goals, consciously or unconsciously. Sometimes people think nowadays that goals necessarily mean you have to have some big thing. I want to be some big this. I want to be. No, no. There's nothing wrong with that. But every day in life, we have goals. My goal today was to make sure that I'm ready with the presentation I wanted to do for you on this call. That's a goal. Yeah. It might not seem very big, but that's a goal, right? My other goal today was to make sure I go to the chiropractor to get my stretches and get my back worked on. That's a goal, and I achieved the goal, and it fills me with satisfaction. It fills me with enlightenment, and it makes me understand that that goal gives me a certain sense of achieving something, right? Tangible results, the ability to see results. So by the time you start investing and you see your portfolio growing, you start seeing tangible results coming from those investments. I told you it's going to become addictive. And the reason why it becomes addictive is because you see results and you really realize that, so I can plant a seed here and come back, nurture it, and in a few months I have a cob of corn of multiple seeds, right? This framework, which is called the PERMA framework, is a framework that I use. You don't have to be perfect at it, but it just gives you a sense of something to compare your desires to. Because when you compare your desires to this, it gives you a realistic way to determine now. Because one of the challenges we're facing in this time and age is a lot of people don't truly know what is it they are looking for. A lot of people know what everybody else defines as happiness for them, but they have not defined for themselves what happiness amounts to. What is it that gives you satisfaction? What is it that gives you meaning in your life? And this framework really helps to streamline those things so that whenever you try to make a decision, you try to aspire to something, you put it against that framework, it's going to give you a reality check. You understand? Is this going to leave me feeling positive? That's why in our society today, especially in our beautiful country, Cameroon, you see a lot of successful people, but empty. Their soul is gone. You see them every day. You walk in situations like that. Their soul is gone. So you ask yourself, where is that positive feeling? If they had seriously thought about the value of that positive feeling, if they had thought about the value of, is this going to really be engaging work? Is it going to give me meaning? Is it going to be something that I've achieved with dignity? They probably would have made different decisions. You feel me? So the reason why I just wanted to share this is to help you not only in this decision-making process, but in all other things you do. Because as like I mentioned to you, yes, of course, I want to see a portfolio at $1 million. But what is the price to get there? Is it worth it?
Absolutely.
I don't think so. We just go at the speed at which you are a very disciplined person. So I don't even have no doubt. You always do the right things at different points. But at the same time, I don't want you to deprive yourself. Because think about it this way. We only come this way once. That's one. But not only that, we really truly, as men, our average lifespan in America is 76 years. In Africa, it's even less than that. It certainly will be more for you because you're taking care of yourself and you continue the discipline, right? But the youth of our senior years, it's not 76. Generally, most people get their greatest youth in their senior years till about 68 years. From 69 to 76 is just struggles. Aches here, aches there, sick here, hospital here. So basically, if somebody is retiring at 60, you really have about 8 years. So therefore, we want to make that sacrifice to build a nest egg towards 60, but we don't also want to give up 40 for 60. We don't always want to give up 39, some of the things you want to do at 39, which gives you that motivation too for life, which gives you that enjoyment for life, which gives you that ability to take a break. Because one of the things that is happening, I coach a lot of people where I have to remind them to take a breath. I have to remind them to breathe. Willie, do you know one of the biggest sub niches in the personal finance and wealth building community today are coaches who are teaching people how to spend money? Because some people have been, because when you are building, like now that you are building, right, you get tunnel focused. And as we do that over time, it becomes second nature. So what happens now is even when you're comfortable financially, but you don't see it like that, you want to spend money, you start feeling guilty. Massa, hey, I go buy this suit for 500,000. Chai, massa. No, we don't want to buy it when we haven't built. But as we've built now, we can comfortably do that. I'll give you an example. I had a client of mine come to me. Somebody actually, well, it wasn't even my client, it was a friend of mine. But he wanted me to talk to the person because he doesn't have the other skills I have, this other knowledge, motivation, inspiration, legacy, coaching, all of that. So he wanted me to talk to this client. And I met the gentleman and his wife. And both of them are in their late 50s. They've done pretty well for themselves, accumulated about 1.5, $1.6 million. Okay? In nest egg. And they were having an argument because the wife wanted them to go on a cruise that is going to cost them 4,000, and the guy is saying it's a little bit high. Okay, Will. But now, when I started talking to them, I realized that the problem was not the money figure. The problem was the emotional programming. Because they did, both of them never made six figures in their lives. That's $100,000 a year, right? They made averagely about 60 or something. So it took a lot for them to get to build that kind of nest egg. They made a lot of sacrifices. They saved a big part of their money. So it made it in such a way that the man became so conditioned that he would now be feeling guilty to spend money. And when I showed them on their tabulations that, listen, you can even, in fact, you should be spending at least 10 grand on that cruise. You should take a VIP room, you should eat the best food. Because when you look at what you have in your nest egg, you look at how much you're going to need for your retirement. You look at most likely how long you're going to live in terms of the youth of your senior years, where you'll still really be able to enjoy some nicer things in life. It's not too many years. And the way your portfolio is positioned, you continue to generate. You are not extravagant. There is nothing wrong with spending even 10 grand from your money to go on that cruise and enjoy yourself with your wife. You see what I mean? So, and now what this PEMA does is that it helps us with that decision making, because that's how I came across this framework, because I was also looking for a solution for me to make sure that I am balanced. Because there was a time too I wouldn't even go on vacation with the family. I keep telling my wife, there's no money, let's slow down, this is that. And the years are going by, and I was going to college. I haven't had a chance to vacation with her a bit. You understand what I mean? And now, even when I get the $10 million, she's no longer for 12. She's no longer 10. By the time I get it released, no longer 39. It will be a man now. So if I don't find a way, the next time he's coming to Europe for something, you call me up, let me know you'll be coming. I buy a ticket, I come, we hang out in Belgium. That's what I'm talking about. You feel me? One of my number one things on my bucket list, really, is to get a car and drive across Africa. That's my dream. I don't want a Lamborghini. I don't want no Rolls Royce. I don't want no private jet. That's all I want. I want to get, every time I watch these travel programs, I see guys with these big jeeps. I'm from Switzerland, I'm from France, and they know my continent more than me. That's shameful. It just leaves me feeling bad. And I'm like, you know what? I've already identified an SUV which I'm going to buy next year. Send it to Cameroon for them to start reinforcing it, putting all those bars and getting it ready. I want to do it, and I can't do it when I'm no longer able to walk. I can't do it at 60, Willie. It's too dangerous. I drink some dirty water for Togo now, hospital emergency, I don't die. Now. You feel me, my man? Exactly. So that's exactly the thing.